Hi, welcome back to Dad Knows. The last few episodes we've been discussing kind of events that led up to the creation, birth of our nation, first president, Mayflower, Declaration of Independence, just a lot of different stuff. Today we're going to talk about an event that happened early on in the life of our country that had a literally huge impact on the country, and that was the Louisiana Purchase. Okay, so the Louisiana Territory, as it was known then, if you look where modern day Louisiana is, shocker, right? And extends northward from there, northward and westward, and kind of follows the Mississippi and Missouri River paths. And that area had been controlled by the French since like 1699, all the way up through the mid 1700s. Then briefly by Spain for about 40 or 50 years, and then France got it back right around 1800. Well, at that time, Napoleon was in charge of France, right around 1800. He was having some little rebellion problems that he was dealing with, as well as a big brewing war with Britain. So Napoleon, he needed some cash quick. He needed some money for the war effort. He also wanted to just not have to deal with this stuff anymore. So he, said, hey, Thomas Jefferson, we can talk about selling you this land if you want. So Thomas Jefferson sent a group over there to do this, which included
John Hanson. That's right. It's me again, the best president of the United States. I was the. Oh no!
Sorry, it's John Hanson. We've seen him before. He pops up from time to time. He was one of the presidents under the Articles of Confederation. Likes to think he was the first president. Anyway, is what he likes to talk about. No, but one of the people that was sent by Thomas Jefferson, we did talk about a few episodes ago, and that was Robert Livingston, who was one of the Committee of Five, one of the people that actually helped to craft the Declaration of Independence with Thomas Jefferson. So we sent Robert Livingston and James Monroe. That's another name that's going to pop up again later on as we talk about the Monroe Doctrine sometime here soon, because he's going to be president shortly after Jefferson. So anyway, they went over there, they bought this territory. It was 828,000 square miles. That's a big piece of it. That basically doubled the size of the United States. The purchase was for $15 million. That breaks out to about $18 per square mile, which is pretty cheap as far as land prices go. So it was a good deal for us. Now, it does need to be said, the French controlled kind of the area around Louisiana and then up the Mississippi River. A lot of this territory that they ceded to us in the purchase was controlled by Native American tribes and wasn't really in French possession or territory at all. And that was something we'd have to deal with later on. But anyway, so what we have to talk about next is we're going to talk about the Lewis and Clark expedition, which was a group that explored this territory. But before we get to that, we're going to have a quick word from our sponsors. Thank you so much. Excited to begin the westward exploration of the new frontiers opened up by the Louisiana Purchase, but worried that your neck will be cold and you have no time to grow a mullet? Come on down to Crockett's Coonskin Emporium. We've got you covered. The nice little raccoon tail will keep your neck nice and warm, and the hat is oh so stylish. So come on down, Crockett's Coonskin Emporium will get you taken care of. All right, welcome back to Dad Knows. Thanks to our awesome Timerator technology, we have with us some of the members of the Lewis and Clark expedition today. First up, I have Captain Meriwether Lewis, the leader of the expedition. Welcome, Captain Lewis.
Thank you.
Yeah, so glad you could join us. So first off, let's jump right into this. You were the leader of the Corps of Discovery expedition, which many people call the Lewis and Clark expedition. So what was the plan? What were you trying to do?
Well, President Thomas Jefferson bought a big piece of land from France.
Right.
So we kind of wanted to see how it kind of looked, where the landmarks were. So he sent us to explore.
Okay.
So our plan was we had a boat and to sail up the Missouri River to the headwaters, and then go west and find some other rivers to sail on probably, and then eventually get to the Pacific coast.
Okay, awesome. So where did you start this journey from?
Technically Pittsburgh. That's where we got the members of our group together, but we really started in St. Louis, Missouri, because from Pittsburgh there wasn't really any land to explore, so it's already populated.
People have kind of already seen that, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So.
And the significance of St. Louis is where the Mississippi and Missouri rivers converge It's also called the Gateway to the West.
That's a lot of big rivers. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that was the plan to kind of go up there, find a water route across the newly acquired territory all the way to the Pacific if possible. Did you make it to the Pacific?
Yes, it took us a really long time, but yes, it did.
Okay. So you got, yeah, I see. It looks like you got there November 7th, 1805. Is that
Yes.
right? So that was about a year and a half. You started in May of 1804 from St. Louis, anyway. So a year and a half of journeying to get there. What did you do once you got there?
We built a fort and raised the flag and stayed the winter there.
Kind of said, "This is our place," right? Okay, awesome. Well, we have a couple of other people from your expedition that are going to join us. So thank you so much for your time and being in with us. So while we fire the time radar up again to bring in the next member of the troop, we're now bringing in Second Lieutenant William Clark. All right, welcome in, Lieutenant Clark. You look a lot like Captain Lewis, just with a beard. Is that how you guys were? Okay then. All right. So, Lieutenant Clark. Lewis already kind of gave us the overview of the trip. I just want to get a couple of details and different things from you. So, how many total people participated in this journey?
45.
You had 45.
They weren't all together at the same time, but
Okay.
45.
45 total people. That's a lot of people going on this dangerous, perilous journey across wild animals and Native American tribes. How many people died on the journey?
Only one.
Only one person died? Seriously? Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So what happened? He get mauled by a bear, or shot with an arrow by a Native American, or run over by bison? What happened?
He died of appendicitis.
Appendicitis? Really? Man, that's a terrible. You'd think he could have some cool, legendary, heroic story. But so yeah, that was what's his name? Charles Floyd.
Yes.
Yeah, Charles Floyd, the only member who died of the expedition. So on your way across, you traveled through many, many Native American lands. How many tribes did you establish relations with?
22.
22 to 22, 23, 24, somewhere in there? Okay, different. It depends. Some of them are kind of the same tribes, some were not. From what I read, most of them y'all had relatively friendly communications with.
Yes.
The Lakota Sioux, that seemed a little tense, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a very powerful plains tribe Native American. So, but you didn't actually fight them. It just almost felt like you were going to fight them. Okay, cool, awesome. Well, and thank you so much for joining us, Lieutenant Clark, if that's who you are. We thank you so much for that, and now we'll go to the time radar one more time to bring in one more member of the expedition. All right, now we'll welcome in our third guest for today, Sacagawea. Sacagawea, thank you for joining us.
I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. How is it that you came to be part of the Lewis and Clark expedition?
Well, as a child, I was a Shoshone Indian, but then I was captured by an enemy tribe, and then eventually ended up married to a French trapper named Toussaint Charbonneau, who joined the Lewis and Clark expedition, and I went with him.
Oh, well, okay. Wow. So, and y'all joined, you weren't there at the very beginning though, right? You kind of came along up in Montana, North Dakota area, somewhere like that, right? Okay. All right. So, what are some of the ways that you helped in the expedition? Because I got to be honest with you, your name, here in the future, your name is pretty famous in America. So, what are some of the things that you did?
I found fruit and things to eat for Lewis and Clark.
Because they didn't know what was safe to eat.
No.
Bunch of dummies, right? Okay, got it. Yeah.
And I rescued all their provisions from the water when one of their boats tipped over, sailing on the river.
Okay.
And also I translated and helped them get along with my tribe from when I was a child, the Shoshone. I actually met my brother along the way.
Oh wow! Like a reunion. You hadn't seen him since you were little, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. Okay. All right. So that was what you did on the trip. Did you know that I told you were famous? That in the future we actually have this is a $1 coin with your face on it. Although I'm not sure either the coin is wrong or the time radar's wrong. I'm not sure because this doesn't really look exactly like it. But anyway, we'll go with you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us today, Sacagawea. It's been great having you thank you so much for what you did for the journey as they went along. So, so that concludes our episode on Lewis and Clark and the Louisiana Purchase today. So thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe to the Dad Knows videos so you don't miss any future awesome content from us. Again, thank you to our sponsor today, Crockett's Coonskin Emporium. And just come back soon. Come back next time. Thanks so much.